not be a good thing to start on. But maybe there's a delay and you didn't catch that. Hello, everybody. Right at the end of my kind of window, and I didn't really do a good job of warning people that it would be it'd be a late start. All I can say is I hope I made somebody happy tonight. Something came up, and I regret starting late, but it was hopefully time well spent. So we're back to Battletech, and as always, I really should move this onto my solid state. My solid state's getting a little full. I'm really bad at managing memory, and I also find it really hard to uninstall games. So I suppose it does help me with my little briefing. And one thing that I tend to notice is that when I start later, it is actually nice to have some time where there isn't gameplay going on, simply because I do tend to notice people benefit from the lead-in, and I'll let you watch the movie. One thing that occurred to me is there's a very brief segment where it shows you in a cockpit shooting aircraft. And there are rules. So there's rules for basically everything in Battletech, depending on how far you dig. But they do have, you've got the vehicles in this game. I don't believe there's any kind of like elementals or battle armor or anything like that. I don't recall if the Inner Sphere developed some kind of battle armor in response to elementals, or if that was a thing. I mean, again, the fact of the matter is, the few times I've played Battletech as a board game, it's usually just been with mechs on the playing field. I really could just get by with some of the, the simple battle mech rules. I do actually really like the idea of sort of combined arms in the Battletech universe. I think it would actually be really interesting to do some scenarios on some of these sort of, if not periphery worlds, then these worlds which are governed by minor nobles who are effectively able to keep control because they are the ones who possess a single light battle mech. Because of course the battle mech is such such a leap forward compared to other weapons of war, that in certain situations it would be enough to carry the day. So I'm sure there's scenarios like that. Like, I never really looked that much into printed scenarios in that. It was basically I'd play whatever I could with people I knew who owned it. But anyways, I don't know if there is any kind of aircraft in the game. I know there's like the dropship, but the dropship is really just something that appears at certain moments in the game, rather than it being something that you can you can target. Even the dropship, the I can't remember the name of it, the one that we needed to destroy the fuel tank for in Lady Arano's orders. You know, we've definitely seen the destruction of dropships, but it's always been either in a cutscene or it has been through, you know, the destruction of some other component in the game. And it's fairly easy to see why. I have to assume that, you know, fitting in some kind of aircraft rule for the game would be very difficult. Maybe something for MechWarrior 2. But you know, it's just one of these things you notice. I was really curious if the clip was shortened just because somebody said is like, we don't have rules for aircraft in here. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well. Like I said, I do benefit a little bit from the longer lead-in on days where I have a bit of a later start, just because it gives people a chance. Like I get it. It's, you know, it's one of these cases where I'm large enough that I can sort of count on not having 0 viewers now. That's not something to take for granted, by the way, but you know, the stream has grown to a point where someone will show up and stay, whether it's a regular or somebody who hasn't you know, hasn't seen for a while. But it's clearly not the sort of thing that I want to drop everything and stream for, right? Like, this is not the sort of thing that I would take time off work to be able to do. And the only reason I say that is, you know, it's nice to have consistency, but for the times where I have to start, you know, closer to the end of my 1 hour window, I know it's nice to sort of have the ping go out and people notice. I mean, sometimes people, a lot of channels that I watch, I don't even necessarily look at the times when people start, but there's usually just this moment where my evening routine involves hopping on to X channel or something like that. So I sort of know that happens. But with that in mind, because it's nice to have consistency and it's not necessarily something that I'm always able to deliver on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you'll know that I'll be streaming, with, of course, the exception of not 2 days from now, not this coming Friday, but Friday next week, I am going to be going to the Global Game Jam, which will mean I will not be able to stream. I actually made a mistake last year thinking that it started on the Saturday. It does, in fact, start on Friday, so I've already planned to attend. I'm sure they'll give me a confirmation that I'm actually at the site. I suppose if I'm not like in, I'll stream. But my intention is to start the Global Game Jam at the time that I would be starting streaming. So, yeah, with that in mind, that's going to be the only real interruption. And again, like I said, it's nice to have a little bit of a runway. Although I do realize it makes things a bit tedious for the YouTube crowd, for which I apologize. So, I think we might have actually already hired a replacement MechWarrior, but could also be that, okay, Tyrant's still with us. So we've got Zap, Sixpack, Glitch, and Behemoth. And I believe we were just going to straight up take a contract and jump into things. So hopefully I'm right. Johnny will be disappointed to know that the dragon is not ready to go yet, but we'll get it fixed. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to angle this. So I've got witness protection and fireworks. Those are the more difficult missions that pay better. Witness protection in particular has a really healthy payday. So this is an escort. An ally of the Euregan Directorate here in Panzer stands accused of a long list of illegal, unethical, and deplorable activities. Proof of her guilt was being transported to a spaceport for safekeeping off-planet when it was attacked by unidentified mercenary forces. The convoy narrowly escaped, and we need you to protect it while we arrange for a dropship pickup. Commander, if this convoy has been attacked once, we can just about guarantee that it's going to be attacked again. Somehow I doubt the Directorate will give up so easily. So there's a pretty good argument for doing this. I mean, I could try like Mech Factory, but that's 3 and a bit skulls, and honestly, the pay differential isn't that much. And I'd also have to travel. So this is probably going to be the hardest one that I go up against. Forward Observers has also got a healthy payday, not as good for salvage. Excuse me. But this is, this is one where, as a battle, I might have an easier time. So what I think and then firework target acquisition. Oh, hang on. I haven't tried target acquisition before. Anyways, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do the hardest, best paying missions first. Assuming that I can survive those, then I can start going for some simpler material. And then in the worst case scenario, I can heal up a little bit. But yeah, I want to get the hard stuff out of the way first. Hopefully this will cover some of my costs. What I'd like to do is actually get a little bit of a surplus in the bank. But again, because the salvage is so good on this one, I'm probably going to go a little bit heavier on the salvage. One other consideration is that normally for stuff like escort and whatnot, I don't know how it works inside this game here because I've done so few escort missions, and usually it's been where I have control of the escort. Really heavy mechs seem to make the most sense in those situations. Because obviously you're defending. The enemy has to come to you. How you doing, Sleepbringer? Long time no see. How are you doing? Sorry, I know I just said that, but very good to see you. I have a couple of friends who do a lot of fighting games, and every time I see them play something, I immediately think of you. So you've apparently made a huge impression. It is great to see you again. That's excellent to hear. Let me know what you've been up to. But yeah, so the idea about something like an escort mission is that, so you achieve your objective if the person you're escorting makes it to their destination. The enemy only succeeds if they're destroyed, which means that taking it slow and bringing as much sort of heavy as you can would be kind of the most reasonable assumption about what you can get away with. I have no idea if it's set up this way, because I have definitely learned on previous missions that the AI really has no sense of its own survival. So yeah, I think I'm still going to bring a relatively heavy group, but we'll see. He said, you love hearing about more people getting into fighters, though lately you're a StarCraft 2 fiend. I really wanted to get into that. I told myself I was going to take a year off of Blizzard games. So I don't get to partake, but which is a shame, actually, because I really wanted to at least finish the campaign on StarCraft 2. I'm assuming you have to do it multiplayer. That's funny. I don't think I've ever seen you play a real-time strategy game. It was always sort of RPG-ish or horror. Like I know you're playing that. I think it was Fatal Frame you were playing. I never had a PlayStation, so I don't know the names of these things. But yeah, it was like fighters. It was like fighters, RPGs, and sort of horror-ish stuff that I seem to remember you playing the most. But I mean, that's like the worst possible thing you can do when you're shouting someone out as a streamer. It's like you haven't seen them in years, and it's like, oh hey, you still do like Doom, right? I haven't played Doom in like 6 years. So all right, my last big decision that I need to make on this one is the breakdown of what kind of C-bills and scrap. Now, the thing is, I really want the C-bills. One of the reasons I'm picking this mission is that it basically covers my monthly cost, but I'm also running on the assumption that I'm going to be able to do more than one in time for payday. So I'm going to take a bit of a haircut on this, and it's just because I really don't get this much salvage very often. I might even want to go whole hog and go for the 523. It's just that, 86k 40k is a bit light for what I'm running with right now. So you say, that's fair, you play mostly 1v1 ladder games. You haven't ever finished the first campaign since you bought the game in 2010. Yeah. Well, this is one of the things is that I've noticed, like, I really like strategy, as I'm sure you already know. But I've really noticed that the community for a lot of strategy stuff tends to be quite multiplayer oriented. And it makes sense, right? Like, especially if you like wargaming, generally it's a lot of fun to, you know, play it with other people, play it with your friends. But I don't know, I've definitely liked, actually, you know what? Screw it. This is going to be awful for initiative. And I really should reconsider. The gunnery's so good, though. I mean, the Centurion with the AC-10 sort of makes sense. Yeah. All right. This is like probably the heaviest lance that I've dropped, and I'm not 100% sure that this is the right call, but let's go for it. Mostly I want to get some practice with the Cyclops anyway. But yeah, I think it's probably, if you like wargaming, you're used to doing it with other people. So you said you've tried to get into some of the games you've seen you play, like CK2 and Europa and stuff, but oof, it's dense. Yeah, well, see, this is, I always describe it this way, that like the contract for a Paradox Development Studio game is that it asks a lot of you at the start. And but the trade-off is that it's not idle time. It's not that they didn't want to take the time to put in a tutorial. It's that there is enough inside of the game that it is the sort of thing that you can easily put thousands of hours into and still learn new stuff. The nice thing, though, in terms of recommending Paradox stuff now is that like CK2 is probably the oldest out of the stuff that's like out of the stuff that people readily play in terms of Paradox. This means I'm not including Victoria 2, and there's going to be a bunch of people who are like, oh my god, what? This is the best one. How can you leave it out? Because they're not like actively adding to it. But like CK2 is probably the oldest. And the thing is that the one thing I will say about Paradox from like CK2 and Europa Universalis, already those games are quite a bit better than their predecessors in terms of making the game a little bit more intuitive interface-wise without necessarily making the mechanics any more dumbed down. So as you go through the later games like Hearts of Iron 4 and most importantly Stellaris, you really get the impression that they're focusing a lot about the user interface and how people interact with the game. So at the very least, you can have some fun, even if the game is a little overwhelming. But this is the big thing. Like, you have to be willing to put that time in, because if you're not, then it just becomes a little bit like what I sometimes run into with some games when I'm new with them, which is it's just a bunch of stuff that happens to me and you don't know why you're losing and you feel hopeless. And hopelessness is like the worst possible thing you can feel in any game, let alone a strategy one. So, but this is the big thing, right? Like, I love to be, you know, I love playing those games and I love the fact that people like watching me playing them. But I'm not going to be like the mad prophet of Paradox stuff. Like, they're definitely not games for everyone, but the biggest one for me is just to pick something that interests me and to run with it. So like CK2, that was the very first one I ever played, and I played it on stream so I could learn it. I learned it on stream and I had a great time doing that. And Europa I actually didn't like Europa when I first played it because it was different from CK2 in ways that didn't make a lot of sense to me. And yeah, it's really just a question. But I mean, they stuck with Europa, and I love it now. I think it's actually possibly the best one. But it's like, it's a game I didn't enjoy, and it actually took me the time to like sit down and figure it out. And in some ways, they're sort of like sandboxes, but that can be the big problem. Is that if you have this big, wide open sandbox with lots of options, it's still going to be something that has teeth and can like beat you down if you do the wrong thing. Like, if you start off as a city-state in Europa Universalis, you're going to get acquired into some empire very quickly. But so you keep telling yourself you'll sit down and give it a real shot. A friend of yours got into Stellaris recently and having a blast. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, if it was independent of subjects that you're interested in, I think Stellaris is the perfect gateway drug for grand strategy games. But if there's a period of history that you're interested in, honestly, the thing that kept me going through it was just being able to do something that I was interested in. So like Europa Universalis 4, I don't play anything but Holland. Holland is not an easy start, but I'm just so fascinated by the Dutch that I have to keep going with it. All right, we have friendly units in danger, Commander. Oh crap, that's not good. I thought we'd like have them. Okay, so this super heavy lance that I'm bringing is now a liability because I need to get to them fast. Move to intercept them and provide support. Get them to safety, keep them intact, and get them out of there when get out of there when it's done. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna send the Highlander over the mountain just because it's got jump jets. So does the Victor, technically. It seems like your kind of game. Your friends list on Steam for EU4 is people who played less than 5 hours or hundreds of hours and nothing in between. Absolutely. Well, and that's just it, right? Like, there's no point in spending that much, or there's no point at, like, they're not the kind of game that you sit down for an hour with. I just locked my Centurion and I'm an idiot.
Onward.
Actually, that's unintentionally brilliant because now everybody's going to arrive at the site at the same time.
Roger that.
So this is the edge of the map. I know I'm not going to need to do anything clever on the side.
Acknowledged. I'm going.
But yeah, so like it's not the sort of thing that even like me, as much as I love that game, I never say, "Oh, I'm just going to sit down and enjoy an hour of Stellaris or EU4 or something like that." It's always kind of like I'm going to make a night of this and it's going to be awesome, and you know you'll never stop me. But
Moving out.
I can never remember the range on an AC-10. It is long. Okay, so we'll put them closer to the. By the way, have you ever played this one, Sleepbringer? It's kind of like XCOM with giant mechs.
Standing by.
You definitely want the Highlander in the front for reasons that probably require absolutely no elaboration.
Confirmed.
This may not be the smartest choice I've ever made, but...
Ready, set.
Hey, Lumpy Space, how you doing? Lumpy, I can never remember. Did you came from Johnny's channel, right? You didn't come from me to Johnny. It was the other way around, right? Receiving word from the convoy. You've secured the area around their position, and they're making their way towards the extraction point now. Keep them alive. Keep in mind that the convoy will try to stay near you for protection. Continue advancing to get them to the extract point. Okay, that's good. So... no word as to how big this fella is. I think I'm going to reserve Zap just so he can see where he moves. There's no way I'm going to be able to catch it on time. Okay, that's 55 tons. Okay, he's getting a good sniping spot. That's not so good.
They will be done.
But Zap does have the ability to scan.
Away.
So give me a nice experimental run with that Cyclops. You did come from Johnny. Excellent. I feel terrible asking this, Sleepbringer, but I haven't actually seen you live, which may not mean anything. Do you still stream at all? Because if you do, I'll happily give you a formal shout-out. So one of the reasons why I did that scan, in addition to just getting some intel in terms of what I'm up against, that's a 40-ton and 60-ton, but this is probably going to have like an autocannon or something like that. So part of the reasoning here is just so that I can lob some of these LRMs at the target. Cyclops is going to be a slow mover, but it should at least be able to bring some pain. Admittedly, it's going to have... Oh, did I... God, I suck. I should have kept a closer eye on whether or not I... So the plan was going to be that I'd lob missiles at the Wolverine, but that's not going to turn out. That actually puts me in a tough spot. Stream very infrequently. Only games that you're really excited, want to share with your people in your chat is usually just your IRL friends who want to hang out while I play. Well, with that in mind, for those of you who are looking for a casual environment, I definitely remember I used to be on a stream team with Sleepbringer. And I remember him... Sorry. I definitely remember hanging out with him in his channel. He's a gentleman and a scholar and all-around stand-up guy. So if, as you heard from the description, it's a more casual environment. And that sounds like a jolly good time to me. And sorry, I didn't see that you hadn't played this. Yes, this is by a company called Harebrained Schemes. I don't know if you ever watched me play a game called Shadowrun Returns, but it's by the same company that made that. I'm not 100% sure about this Highlander move, but my reasoning here is I'm going to jump up to deal with the Wolverine here, and then I'm going to move it forward to deal with this 40-ton. The Highlander can't really do anything to the 60-ton over here. This is kind of a waste of ammo, but given the number of mechs that are in the area, there's not too much I can do. But yeah, anyways, so whether or not you played Shadowrun, any of the Shadowrun games, Harebrained Schemes is a really interesting company, and this was one they actually did a Kickstarter for originally. And I backed the Kickstarter, I really liked Shadowrun, and the rest is history, really. Okay, so it looks like the Wolverine's trying for a better shot. Not too worried about them opening up on something like the Cyclops, because Cyclops just has got a bunch of armor.
I await your command.
Does give me a chance to throw my weight around with the... Centurion, though. The tough question, though, is whether or not... See, both of them are sort of in a... I guess my best chance is with the... Well, actually, I've got two. This will help me with some chevrons. So I'm going to lob the LRMs at the Vulcan. This is really more about the evasion. Oh, crap. Got to do this the other way. Oh, no. Hang on. Better choice. So, yeah. Shooting the AC-10 at the Wolverine, I get my breaching shot advantage, which means the cover doesn't mean anything. The Vulcan, that's not really going to be the case, but the nice thing about this is that they're kind of more minor. This is really about knocking down chevrons and doing a little bit of stability damage, so... I love Shadowrun, don't think you saw the playthrough, but Returns is a very good game. Oh, if you haven't played Dragonfall, Dragonfall is amazing. Returns is great as well. But yeah, this is the same people. It's actually also a property that was made by Jordan Weisman, who is the founder of Harebrained Schemes.
Failed to connect.
And yeah, I don't know. It's giant robots stepping on their enemies. Obviously, it's a very different style of game. This is definitely a lot more hard on the strategy side than Shadowrun, which is obviously an RPG, even though the combat is turn-based. But yeah, it's definitely a good time. All right, so we've really not done the kind of damage I was hoping we would.
What can I do for you?
So can I? Excellent. Okay, so Glitch can... Alright, so normally I'd want to put Glitch in the woods for her cover bonus, but this is a situation I'm willing to make an exception for. And in this case, I'm going to try and go for a headshot. She's got an AC-20 as well. If it doesn't land, which it probably won't, the damage won't be as impressive. If it does land, we potentially take this thing out without too much trouble. Yeah, we definitely got a head hit. We just didn't get it where I wanted it. So again, this is the reasoning behind the...
Commander.
I might want to just stand and deliver here, to be honest.
Heading out.
Really just want to see what this thing does. It's not exactly the most fearsome. Normally I wouldn't fire these LRMs, but I've got so many that it doesn't really matter.
Take this. Scored a critical hit.
Sorry, what was I trying to say? Yeah, I don't know. This game definitely leans into the
Copy that.
turn-based strategy. There's still kind of the in some cases you can sort of see the influence of like Darkest Dungeon on games in general, to be honest, because it definitely has sort of the company management and whatnot. But I'd say the real selling point, this is overkill, but it's Tundra, and
Let's see how you like this.
there we go.
Mech destroyed. What say we take it to him?
Also, I mean, it's a setting thing too. Ooh, 70 tons? That thing's gonna hurt.
Waiting for orders.
I'm very tempted to go after the Gallant, but
Moving to
I
position.
think I'm gonna take a shot on the Vulcan. No, Vulcan's not gonna have its guarded next, so in this case we'll open up on the Gallant.
Cry havoc.
It's a shame. I haven't actually heard of either of those. I'm a little worried about the fact that these guys are going to be following the road, and I've been ignoring this tank on the side. I probably really only have one more turn of ignoring that. But every bullet that's expended on my mechs rather than my my escorts is a good thing. All right. So now I have some decisions to make. So it looks like the Vulcan reserved its turn.
Waiting on you, Commander.
That's okay, because this just means that Glitch is going to be able to do a targeted shot. We might be able to take it out first turn. So again, we'll just go straight for the head, because there is the possibility that Glitch can pull that off.
Everything I've got.
Nope, it took out a right arm.
Want some more, huh?
So probably what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Behemoth and the Highlander to mop up the Vulcan, and then the Cyclops will work on the urban assault vehicle. Actually, Cyclops is gonna deal with the urban assault no matter what. Geothermal. So I run hot, but this vehicle doesn't really run that hot on its own. So I'm risking the Cyclops here. Oh, it's an SRM carrier. This I might get knocked down off of that. One, this is for me to be able to target the Gallant, and two, this is to try and draw fire from the escort. So this is again a little bit of overkill, but I have no assurances that I'm actually going to be able to hit the weak spot on the Gallant. Thanks, Sleepburger. Great to see you again.
Waiting for orders.
All right. So pretty good shots. All right. Actually, I should have seen if I could do the Highlander burial, but question is, do I want to target? Yeah, why not? Let's just go for the center again.
Roger that.
Yeah, didn't need the rest of that.
Hope we can salvage that. Oh, You're gonna get some now.
I'm here.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull out the... I don't feel great about running the Centurion out forward like this. Yeah, actually. I don't get to do too many exciting things, but I'm really uncomfortable with the idea of making a Centurion go one-on-one against an SRM carrier. So let's just lob an AC at it first. Nice.
That vehicle is one for the junkyard.
So I'll just distribute my mechs a little bit more evenly to cover the area. I'm assuming that there's nothing else, but it's not a bad idea to cover the bases. It's also entirely possible that I over-prepared.
Mm-hmm. On my way. Don't need to tell me twice.
I'm walking here.
One thing I keep forgetting about Inspiration is with Inspiration there's a +1 bonus for accuracy. I also think when you're at 100% there is something that you can do for your mech warriors as well. Seem to be a little more conscious about that.
I copy.
Obviously we don't want to outrun the convoy too much, but
Rolling.
we at least know that the woods have been taken care of. The protect the convoy while the dropship arrives is the catch. And there's pretty much space for anything, so... I think at this point I'm going to brace everyone.
Resting my mech.
The only other thing I can think of is that the Centurion and the Cyclops might want to switch places. The Centurion's a long-range fighter anyway, and has the like the sensor ability, so they're slightly more useful if they're...
Cooling down a bit.
I'm your spaniel.
So yeah, their reasoning here is that this guy is going to be able to run into battle reasonably quickly. He's got long-range weapons, and he's able to sensor lock something if it gets kind of dangerous. So I'm okay with where the Highlander is. I was originally going to put people a bit closer, but it occurred to me that actually, I'll maybe put the Highlander at the edge of the woods. The only problem is if there's something waiting for us in here. Well, there wouldn't be because we just shot them up. So yeah, I'll put the Highlander a little bit closer to the edge of the woods. But the Highlander is really good at sort of like jumping into the fight and crossing. I mean, for its weight, it's definitely good at crossing distances. So,
Yeah. Yep. Aye, aye. Got it.
It'll be great if they arrive. Yes, okay. More contacts on the sensors, Commander. Looks like they're sending in units to hunt and destroy our employer's people.
Hold this position, Commander. The package will be on its way soon.
Okay, so this is reasonably good news if this is where the enemy is. They're 30 tons. So, of course, there's always the danger that there's going to be something lurking in the background, but for now we're going to treat this like this is the only threat.
I'm your spaniel.
Okay, so sort of as predicted, Centurion is not necessarily going to be able to do much this round, but I am going to sensor lock the spider.
I've got a sensor lock.
It's got a few chevrons still, but this seems almost unreasonably favorable to me.
Right here.
Just because if I'm supposed to cover this for a turn, like it's one turn and then they're already gone. Anyways,
Location confirmed.
this is the rookie, so this is really all about knocking down evasion, but we are going to open up on the spider because it's also the only target available.
Locked and on and firing it all. Good to go.
We'll go glitch first. Oh, glitch isn't actually able to... There we go.
I hear ya. No sweat.
Glitch is the better shot, so we can give her the precision strike. We'll go for the head, but it's not like we really need spider scrap.
Commencing alpha strike. Yeah, critical hit. Receiving you.
And sort of a similar story, I want the Highlander in the fight as early as possible, so even though jump jets may not be the best use of heat, I probably should feel bad that I'm doing this,
Here
but...
it comes.
There's not much of that spider left.
One less target.
The objective is secured, Commander.
Ah, the intention isn't so much to destroy my escort as it is to make sure that I don't evac. Definitely better than the last escort mission I had. I definitely felt that the convoy was not really all about the survival.
Standing by.
Not too sure how I feel about
On my way.
the big thing about this is that I'm kind of on my own. But here's what we'll do. We'll take our multi-target. I get breaching shots on B and C at least. No, I don't actually. Okay, so C's definitely the better shot. Well, you know what? Let's just knock down some chevrons on the Panther.
Acknowledge.
So the Centurion's probably going to get banged up from the Kintaro, but not as bad as it could have been.
Reporting major armor loss.
The big thing is I just need to make sure that the reply is able to... Ooh.
Damn it! I'm wounded.
Of course it's a head hit. Why would it ever be different in this game? All right. So basically, we need to make sure that the Kintaro pays for the disrespect.
Commander.
And while normally I would actually want to keep the Cyclops in... Ooh. Oh, it's because the chevrons. Basically, I want to try and give them a tastier target with the Cyclops. First of all, second of all, I want to do some damage. I'm always getting in too close, so these LRMs are really not doing anything. But
This is everything I've got.
okay. I think we're gonna do our usual routine here. Glitch is gonna take care of the really hard shot. 65, 70, or yeah, it's both the same.
Got it.
I might have been able to use the jump jets. I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll do the precision strike and hope for the best on the head.
This should be good.
Nope, fair enough.
Ready for orders.
So priority number 1 is getting this Highlander in as close as possible. And I think I can afford the second. Feels like a waste to just go for the leg. So in this case, I'm not gonna do the precision strike. I'm just gonna do a straight up attack.
All weapons are go. Solid connection on that one.
Okay. So, as we hope, the Centurion's got a little bit of life left.
Well, that weren't nothing.
Waiting for orders.
Let's try and get the Centurion. Yeah. Get him in the woods. So LRMs for the Shadowhawk. This is mostly about the breaching shot, and then on the Panther. I mean, we might get a lucky strike in the AC, or it's got 90 in the center. So yeah, we kind of got to hope for really lucky shots here, but
Affirmative.
it's actually not the end of the world with a Centurion. It's a leg. Now it'll suck if the leg does get taken out.
Solid connection on
But
that
the rest
one.
of the armor is actually okay. Hey, the Eyes of Sin.
Reporting internal damage.
How you doing? It's not going for a physical attack, is it? right.
Getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, that Centurion's taken more damage than I really want it to.
Yeah.
I am really tempted to just do a physical attack on the Kintaro here. What's my other option? I open up on the Shadowhawk. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Firing everything.
Just finished making dinner. What did you make?
Hit on something special.
All right.
Good to go.
This behemoth is definitely able to do a physical attack, so let's just get that out of the way right now. Excellent. I'm very happy to hear that.
That hit something good.
Okay.
I hear ya.
So the reason why I saved Glitch for last was she's going to be able to deliver some pain on the Shadowhawk. In fact, she'll probably be able to take it out.
Got it.
So you still have the Panther and the Kintaro to worry about, but the Centurion is in better shape than it was before. Ooh. Not too bad. This mission was a lot easier than I thought it would be, so... fortune favors the bold.
Targeting for physical attack. Tango down.
Okay, so now we've basically got a bunch of assaults versus a single...
Right here.
versus a single Panther, so... What are our chances? 55s and 60s. 55s and 60s. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the Cyclops is not really working for me right now. It's been doing okay, but it's not really... It hasn't really impressed me so far. I haven't quite been able to figure out a good use for it. Admittedly, I do have like a not very good pilot running around in this thing, so
Commander.
I think we'll do the usual. We'll get ooh, let's be a little more careful about that actually, because we can get a good shot with the Gauss rifle.
On it. Critical hit, Commander.
Now I don't need to use resolve to get targeted shot.
Waiting for orders. On my way.
So my big worry about bringing only assaults is the fact that I'm only going to be moving after everything else does. In this particular case, that was not too much of a worry. That's not going to be a lot of scrap left.
Gotcha.
Well done, you managed to wipe the Op4 out. I can get you, I can do an extract right now. No need to get to our planned landing zone.
Mission successful.
Alright, excellent work, Commander. I was right to put my faith in you. You're a critical part of the restoration effort. So 10% for destroying the enemy reinforcements, 10% for all of the convoy units surviving. Clearly, with what we were up against, it would have made a lot more sense for me to go for the cash, and that extra 10% on the cash would have really helped. But, you know, that's life. We're out for 15 days on that head injury, unfortunately, so this actually was a fairly expensive run if you look at that way. Let's take the Kintaro. We'll go for the higher quality gear for sure. I don't really think I want... So, like, it's nice to have a ++ on an SRM, but it's an SRM too. So let's go for the better medium laser. We also got Shadowhawk and AC5. Actually, that's not bad because I tend to run lower this. So I need to... Oh no, AC2 was the thing I was worried about. some machine guns and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, 5 million in claim salvage, okay, nice. I didn't really need any of this stuff, and if I had known the payout would be like this, what can I say? I probably would have done it differently, but I can't, so you know what I'm gonna say if I don't stop complaining?
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Our mech warriors are gaining in experience and need your guidance, Beefeater. If you head to the barracks, you can direct their training. So, financial report in 10 days, or I can bring in another recruit and... Well, here's an interesting thing. It's not actually telling me that I don't have enough mech warriors for a fight. That interests me. So we've got backyard barbecue. So this is ambush a convoy. Fireworks is... Okay, so we've got 2 backyard barbecues. We've got forward observers. Our scouts have observed Directorate military units covertly surveying military and industrial targets. So my big worry is if we go in short-handed. You know what? I'm not going to be happy about, well, okay, what do we have in the hiring hall? If we have a good mech warrior, Powerline, oh, Showboat.
Waiting for orders.
And so Amanda Ahn, who was born on a little planet nobody's ever heard of, always knew that she was going to be a star. She started out by participating in local talent shows where she repeatedly won Miss Congeniality, but didn't quite catch on with the local population of farmers and biologists. But after watching the mech dance routine, teenage Amanda put together a supportive But after watching the mech dance routine, teenage Amanda put together a supportive great aunt scraped together the funds to take herself and her young charge off to Solaris 7. There, Amanda trialed at several gladiatorial stables before her savvy great aunt provoked a small bidding war between the stables to get Amanda one of the most excellent rookie contracts in recent history. It was an uncommon move, but Amanda Ahn was an uncommon find even in gladiatorial circles. She went over big from the beginning. An absolute natural in the cockpit, she was a popular sensation due to her skills, style, optimism, and scrappiness. She was living her dream, and she loved it, all the way until her great-aunt died. Her new agent, while good at the business end of things, doesn't have Amanda's great-aunt's sense of how to protect Amanda's temperament from some of the darker elements of the Solaris 7 gladiatorial world. As Amanda coped with the loss of her most beloved mentor, she was still expected to be her famously cheerful self. She couldn't do it alone, and turned to stimulants and alcohol for help. Eventually, as it did with so many gladiators, it backfired on her. Caught up in a hideous scandal, Amanda was advised by her new agent to leave Solaris 7 for a few years so the scandal could be forgotten. Ashamed and glad to escape from the pressures of Solaris 7 celebrity, Amanda did so, heading out to the periphery to take up work as a mercenary and hopefully keep her nose clean. Alright, well, obviously because it's named Amanda, we have to hire this one. And we have now a really good mech warrior. So I actually have too many mech warriors now, and my expenses are going to be going up. But that's fine. 6-pack and Tyrant I'm going to keep in my back pocket. And Behemoth, Glitch, Showboat, and Beefeater are sort of the A-team. So
What's up, boss?
we've got top piloting on Behemoth now.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Waiting for orders.
Glitch, I'm still holding out for better guts.
What can I do for you?
Obviously, we just hired Showboat, and 6-pack, I think we're gonna do a nice even spread. Yeah, let's do gunnery and tactics
Training
for now.
complete.
Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah. No, I do need to do that because I need 4. All right. So, forward observers, I think. Yeah, so these are the tricky ones. So we've either got forward observers or fireworks. I'm really curious about target acquisition. We are engaged in delicate negotiations with a private manufacturer from Taurian space, but we have reached an impasse. Our representative has requested a demonstration. Something dramatic, she said. So we turn to you. Our team will provide on-site assistance to target an abandoned Taurian military base near a trade conference. We'll have a warship standing by to light it up dramatically. Time frame on this is tight, since we need the artillery strike to hit while the restoration representative has everybody looking in the right direction. And Commander, I wouldn't take any bets on that military base actually being abandoned. So I'm going to save on this one, because I haven't saved yet. I have a guess about what I need to bring on this, but let's be sure. All right, I'm going to keep for the default. So this one I don't want to bring. Oh, Jesus. No. Let's get those repair jobs in. Wait, this is ambush convoy. Ambush convoy is actually going to be the harder one for me, but it pays worse, so... So this one I'm not actually going to be bringing the full... I'm not going to be bringing the Steiner Scout Lance. I'm going to be... working with something a little more maneuverable. So the question is, do I want to do it this way? We've got decent piling and tactics. They've got sure footing. So good for evasion. Yeah. Only other one I might want to do is the Vindicator, which has got 720. Well, it's got better armor. But no, let's run with the Phoenix Hawk. I mean, Phoenix Hawk is stylish for the showboater. So it's definitely a higher drop tonnage than the difficulty would imply. And one of the reasons I want to bring the Phoenix Hawk is so that I can get some mobility. Because from the dialogue, it seems like this is going to be something where I need to find something before a timer ends. But I don't know. So. I did not know that vehicles took extra damage from melee attacks. The worst ones for me are when I get into melee range and it doesn't crush the target. Once Beefeater is out of medbay, by the way, we'll go back on the main mission, but that's probably going to be a while. What I'd ideally like to do is finish up all the missions on this planet and then head to another target to put some days between us. In the worst case scenario, I get my ass kicked on a mission and we have to do the journey on its own. But we'll see.
Command interface initiated.
Client wants to put on a show. We're here to mark the target so that can happen. 3 points make a triangle around the target base. Set up beacons at those points and we can go home. The base is supposed to be abandoned and empty, but I don't trust that, and neither should you. Timing's important here. This is a show of force, and if we miss our window, the right people won't be watching.
Purdy here.
Alright, place beacon on Alpha for artillery designation. We have to place it within 8 turns, and it just straight up says that there's an enemy garrison, so... So the distance isn't that much further if I use my jump jets. So in this case, we'll opt for the sprints.
Location confirmed. You betcha.
So this is the big drawback here, is that
Yep.
this is definitely not a squad that's designed to do things quickly. But then that's why the Phoenix Hawk is involved. What I might do is I might get the Phoenix Hawk to sort of just do a heroic leap to the third. the third spot. While we're at it, though,
Got it.
it's rough, rough land.
Moving. Mm-hmm.
So this one, I'm actually gonna move Showboat at the end. Yeah, we can afford a jump.
Copy that.
Again, I'm trying to get
I hear ya.
the distance I can with. Yep,
Got
there
a
we
sensor
go.
trace.
It's a 60-ton mech. Can't really get all that much faster, so we'll just sprint.
Uh-huh. Location confirmed.
Big question here is going to be whether or not we can actually get the target on sensors in time.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Really? Oh wait, sprint will fix that. So there's a 40-ton mech waiting for me. Make sure we get maximum chevrons
Sprinting.
and the objective. Again, this is why we brought the Phoenix Hawks, so I'm fine with things being the way that they are. Attention, Altorian forces! Focus fire on the mechs placing beacons for artillery strike. Fire, and it will and bring them down. Well, heat's definitely the thing that's going to hurt the Phoenix Hawk.
Yeah.
If I could have made it to the target zone, I would have sprinted, but I can't, so in this case I'm going to reserve.
Well, let's just see what happens.
Okay, looks like we're actually going to be playing this game right down to 1, but I want to force the issue.
Good to go.
Okay, so can I jump Behemoth somewhere interesting? Not really. So I can at least walk her there. Do I want to do that though? No, I want to get
Waiting for orders.
6-pack to move because there might be something better for my elite mech warriors. So 6-pack's basically just going to be knocking down some chevrons here. I don't have very high expectations. They must have braced. Okay.
Good to go.
Cool.
Time to fly.
So now we get to focus on the third destination and we'll be fine. In this case, we'll brace.
Waiting for orders.
And that does give something for Behemoth to do. So in this case, we'll just do a standard move.
On the move.
I'd probably feel a lot worse about wasting a Gauss rifle shot, but I don't really think, especially given how short this encounter is going to be, I don't think I'm going to have enough shots to really worry about wasting it.
Engaging target. Come on, mech warriors.
Commander, they're deploying vehicles and tanks from their motopool. It appears to be subterranean and hardened. We can't take it out, so they'll keep coming until the artillery lands, so move quickly. Commander, our window for opportunity on the strike is closing. At least half of our time has expired. You'll need to move quickly if you're going to accomplish this. Yeah, so again, this is the drawback of the... This is the drawback of the assault mechs that I brought.
Nice try.
but I'm near certain the Phoenix Hawk is going to be my savior on this one, no matter what.
You got nothing, you hear me? I'm listening.
Alright, so I'm going to move Showboat first.
Heading out.
Some kind of a tough call. I think I'm still going to prioritize the Vulcan here just because it's close to falling down. Normally I deal with what was in front of me though. This is kind of the penalty for them reserving that unit.
That was a critical hit, that was.
Okay. So it's tempting to get Showboat to do some damage on it, but again, our objective is to drop beacons. Well, hang on. I might be able to do both. That gets me a machine gun shot, so.
Taking the high road.
And the evasion is decent, so. I was a little more hopeful than what that actually was going to turn out to be. Oh, you know what? That was a foolish mistake because now they're going to turn around with a flamer. Unless they don't have the flamer. Anyways, the aim was to try and take out the leg so they wouldn't be able to move as quickly. You know, as much as I'm talking about how this was not a smart loadout, this is actually really working for me because all of the firepower is drawn to the stuff with heavy armor, whereas the Phoenix Hawk is basically left to its own devices. All right. Sadly, I have nothing that I can do my awesome move on, so we will settle for firing a Gauss cannon at the quick draw.
Firing a full salvo.
Shame on her for missing. That SRM carrier is going to cause me grief. I keep forgetting SRM. Oh, Jesus Christ. SRM carries are the worst. Of course I've got a head hit.
Still going though. Waiting
Oh
for
my
orders.
god. Okay. Better make some good money on this.
Moving out. We can do this. Let's go.
They're probably going to target the trebuchet. Hold fast. Oh, they got knocked down though.
Not good. Not good. I took a hit to my innards.
Okay, nothing's blown up yet.
My insides are getting beat up. What can I do for you?
Okay, so we continue with the plan. We've got 3 rounds. I need 2. I am going to stay in the woods though, and I'm going to make sure that I'm turning to face anything that can shoot at me. And while we're at it, so there's a temptation to do a brace to get my heat down. It's probably the Vulcan that moves next. I think I am going to try sensor locking the quick draw though.
I've got a sensor lock.
Yeah, they're gonna get another shot at the trebuchet. I thought they were gonna prioritize the... Oh yeah, I'm not in a...
That ain't good.
Okay, so...
I copy.
We're pretty brutal everywhere with this trebuchet, to be honest.
Okay, I righted myself.
46, 11, 37. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to turn around and fire at anything, so in this case we'll just do a straight run. We'll just get like straight out of the danger zone. Actually, you know, honestly, even though my back's turned, I still get evasion, and I'm going to be able to... my back armor is actually fully intact, so next round I'm just going to be able to right myself and unload. Wow, they really want that trebuchet. They actually turned their back to an autocannon 20 to do that.
Orders.
So the first thing I want to do...
On it. Reporting critical hit. I can't take much more of this.
This does mean, however, I 100% have to kill the SRM boat now. Oh no! They're gonna knock down the Highlander! I thought I had one more move.
I'm taking a pounding, Commander! Ugh! Move her down.
Jesus Christ. I did not think it had that range.
I lost a weapon. Light damage, Commander.
Okay.
Ready to go.
Priorities. We're going to get... There's actually two things we're going to do here. One, I'm going to be able to cool down. Number two,
Coordinates received.
we go to the target zone.
Sensors locked on.
May not actually accomplish anything, but makes me feel good.
Internal structure damage.
Okay. So clearly they're going to chase her down no matter what, but at least in this case we can turn around and return fire. So we're down one LRM. There's actually a temptation to go for the quick draw here. What's my other alternative? I can go for the urban assault vehicle, but that's already been dealt with. So yeah, quick draw is the priority. My Highlander's going to be able to just beat the crap out of it later anyway. This is going to be fun to reply. Alright, first things first.
Commander?
Glitch is just going to munch on a vehicle.
Right, Commander.
I am exposing myself to an attack from behind doing that. I might have chosen a better
That's a
location,
vehicle kill.
but...
Orders. Engaging. Mech destroyed.
Observer actual, this is fire control. Target locked, firing for effect. HE 30 rounds. Danger close. Observer actual, this is fire control. Shot over. Splash in 30. Fire control, this is observer actual. Confirmed. Shot out. Obviously, I need to make sure I clear the area.
Okay, that was bad. Commander.
I do want to make sure I still keep my evasion chevron, so...
Location confirmed.
So this one, there's a temptation to go after the SRM carrier, to be honest, but I don't think the LRMs are going to be enough to... Yeah, it's 45 armor. Let's just make the Vulcan unhappy.
That was a critical hit. Waiting on you, Commander.
All right. So if I can, I'd like Showboat to get a shot on the missile carrier. Well, I could DFA it, but I think that's going to cause internal damage, so let's go for the next best. There's 600 reasons for me not to make this move.
I leap, I soar.
But I really don't want to get another batch of close-range SRMs on my assault, because if they get knocked down, then their armor's not going to count for that much. And actually, this is one where I want to focus fire. So, 72 for the front. Front's got 45 and 22. Looks like it's 45, 22 everywhere.
This should be good.
Good. That might have been overkill, but again,
Smoke them.
I want to make sure that I'm not suffering because of the...
Good to go.
Seems so dumb that I'm doing this, but I'm actually going to take out the vehicle.
Mover down. Receiving you.
This is slightly better positioning for whatever's coming out of that base.
Enemy down.
Warning. Incoming artillery fire.
So again, we want to make sure we clear the danger zone, but we should be fine.
Reporting.
So this thing's already moved, so in this case we'll just unleash hell.
I hear ya.
Ooh, stylish finish.
Got it. Ugh!
So it'll get some of that stability back when it moves. Oh, it has already moved. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
Then in that case,
Waiting for orders.
Glitch gets to do a melee attack.
Ugh! Critical hit, Commander.
So if we take this thing out on the same round where, like if the artillery lands at the moment that we take everything out, that's just a no! God damn it! I didn't want to make that move. Alright.
Taking the shot.
Sadly,
That hit something.
I wanted to get a better shot, but Fire control, this is Observer Actual. Good effect on the target. Target's destroyed. I mean, that's fair. That's the best target it could have gone for.
Waiting for orders. Going toe to toe. Want some more? Huh?
I probably could have done a called shot on that, but...
Good to go. Enemy down.
And I'll admit, I'm surprised. I would have thought that we were... they were done. Oh, extract before enemy reinforcements arrive. Alright, well that's almost certainly not going to happen now, but...
I copy.
In fact, that may never have been a possibility. The big worry here is actually going to be trying to keep that trebuchet alive.
Reporting.
So, can I take the road? For a while.
Roger. Full throttle. Good to go.
I think what I'm going to do here is get to a position where I'll be able to back up the trebuchet if it comes down to it.
Ready for orders. Roger that.
I really should have paid attention to the... I mean, again, I think it's most likely that I moved too slow for that to be...
Waiting for orders.
For that to have been a realistic goal anyway.
Sprinting.
But now I'm definitely caught by surprise.
Copy.
So as before, we'll run as far as we can in the trebuchet.
Affirmative.
Second best is we just get the trebuchet in cover and away from any hostiles.
I hear ya. Don't need to tell me twice. Commander? On my way.
I'll be interested to see where the reinforcements come. This is the main reason I'm not sprinting, because the trebuchet is the first thing that's got to get to the evac zone. Inbound kill, team boss. We've lingered a bit too long and their reinforcements are arriving shortly. Alright.
Commander. What can I do for you?
So here... Showboat's gonna be... Well...
On my way.
I don't feel very good keeping her out in the open, but I kind of want to get eyes on whatever I'm up against if it... Okay, nothing.
Good to go.
So, seeing as if Phoenix Hawk didn't get eyes, the slow-moving assaults aren't going to, so in this case we'll sprint them. That does leave my trebuchet kind of on its own, but...
Good to go. Moving fast.
With any luck, they're going to be arriving at a point where these guys can be a decent screen for the wounded.
I've got eyes on hostile.
Ooh, that's
They're heading your way.
definitely not where I wanted them to land. No word on what that is yet, but...
Reporting.
So, first things first, this time I'm going to run through the... Really? Huh. Yeah, I'm not risking it. I'm in fact going to take the assaults and turn them around specifically to cover the trebuchet on this.
Waiting on you, Commander.
I don't actually want to face them, this is why I just did a regular move, but I'm hoping I can ping something on my No, I can't. All right.
Commander.
So I might just be able to outrun him.
Commander?
So I mean, the Highlander and the Victor are in position to give some decent cover
Commander.
if it comes down to it.
Haulin' ass.
Nothing on radar yet, so I'm going to reserve Showboat. We're going to take it down to 1. Okay, so whatever's coming after us, it's not in range for the radar. So in this case, I'm going to move Showboat into a position where I can at least turn and face whatever's coming after us.
Yes, Commander. Copy that.
It's not the bravest move, seeing as the Trebuchet is still technically in danger, but
Waiting for orders. Right, Commander.
ideally we're going to be able to move everybody out in the same round.
Maximum speed.
I'm just going to reserve down to turn 1 again.
Standing by.
Okay,
I hear ya.
so Showboat can make it next round.
Commander?
Glitch can make it next round.
Receiving you.
Behemoth can make it next round. So in this case, we're going to brace the remaining mechs.
Sounds smart. Cooling. Copy.
So 6-pack goes to safety.
Copy.
We could theoretically get more scrap if we take on the reinforcements, but
What can I do for ya?
I don't really see any point in
Ready? Set?
risking my mech warriors. I'm already going to have somebody in med bay who I don't really want out of commission.
Standing by. Engaging jump jet. Waiting for orders.
Targets destroyed. Client's messages signed, sealed, and delivered.
Mission successful.
It would have been kind of cool to see what we were up against, but again, we're down a mech warrior, and there's no beyond a little bit of scrap. There's no real benefit to potentially losing a mech or mech warrior or anything else really. So 10% for destroying the enemy garrison, 595 to show for it. We'll give up quite a bit of that to repair the trebuchet. Got some decent experience. 40 days is a really long time to have that mech warrior out. It's actually tempting to go for the double AC 10++, but I always do like finishing off mechs. I think I'm going to do the stability damage though, so... In the worst case scenario, I can always sell off some of these mechs. So one of the reasons I'm not too worried about the company finances, because in the worst case scenario, we just sell off some of the assets that we have. But
That mech you asked for is cleared for fighting.
the JVN 10F Fire Javelin packs 4 medium lasers on a 30-ton chassis. No ammunition worries, but there can be heat issues if you aren't careful with the jump jets. Mech warriors are gaining experience and need your guidance, Beefeater. If you head to the barracks, you can direct their training. So Javelin goes to storage. Let's go to the mech bay for repairs. Now I do use the trebuchet quite a bit, so if I've got a good LRM-15, I don't. I just have an LRM-10. Alright, that's fair. So we'll take that and the medium laser. I kind of want to put the medium laser ++ on it, but really the medium laser shouldn't be used on this thing, so... Now the question is whether or not it's worth waiting. Definitely want to put the trebuchet at the top of that list. So, contracts-wise, I think we still have the same ones. Backyard barbecue, backyard... Oh no, we've got two back... No, yeah, we got the same ones. I really do want to do these missions. The question is... We've got so many people out of action right now. I don't think I can just keep hiring new people. All right, you know what? We're all right financially. We'll still be ahead of. We'll still be on top of 3 million by the end of this financial period. So we'll repair the mechs. We'll get Zap back in, and we'll clean up the contracts that we've got.
Ready to go over financials whenever you are.
Okay. So again, we'd be paying $1 million if we went to extravagant. Having the 50 when we didn't have too many expenses is paying off again.
Job's done, Commander.
Okay, so as far as bays are concerned, unless I want to be changing the loadouts for any of my mechs, we're okay. At some point I want to go for ship upgrades. We're now at the point here where adding the extra mech bay would make some sense. But again, it's 2.25 at a time where I only have 3 million C-bills. So something I want to keep in reserve. Similar idea with medbay, right? Like my biggest liability right now is that medbays, the fact that I don't have a better medbay means that my people don't get back into the fight as early as I would like them. But do I want to clean out the company's war chest to be able to do that? Not really. So we'll go back to contracts. Hopefully it's the same ones. Yes, so we've got 2 backyard barbecues and forward observers. I definitely want to do forward observers. So our scouts have observed Directorate military units covertly surveying military and industrial targets. This increased activity from the Oregon Directorate near several priority facilities. It suggests a strike is coming soon. We're tasking you with intercepting the scout lance that's identifying targets and eliminating it before we can report before it can report back. Forgot to save after the last one. So January 22nd. I can't remember if this is B or C, so I'll just say C. 769 would be really good. I think I'm going to go for the cat. I really should be going for some more scrap, but... and seeing as it's a straight up battle, I'm going to do the... Oh yeah, if I want, I can do like all heavies. The thing is, the dragon is always wound up being this like death trap. So the question is, do I want to put Showboat, like this really, like this sort of story character in the Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let's give people some promotions. The tricky call if I want to boost the gunnery or the tactics more. I think I'm going to do it evenly for each one.
Training complete.
Commander?
glitch. We finally got the top guts for it, and turns out there was no real overheat threshold, but
Training complete.
that's life.
What can I do for you?
Can boost showboat, so I think in this case we'll go for some simple boosts. Guts is really just to bring up the base levels. We've got another level of gunnery now. This is mostly just because showboat's going to be going in some better, basically in some better. What am I trying to say? Like better mechs, so I want to make sure that she's able to deliver on the attacks. The really tricky one for me is, so we've got Ace Pilot. Oh, that's right, move after shooting. That's a really strong one, actually. So I think we're going to focus... Actually, so if I wanted... No, I couldn't. Yeah, so we'll take gunnery and guts for now. We'll prioritize piloting. Then I need to find like a proper mech for her in, to run around in. Anyways, yeah, so we'll do forward observers. I'm going to cry and take less salvage. I'm definitely liking the behemoth glitch combo. I'm really nervous about putting showboat in the dragon because I have not been able to find a really good way of making it work, but she's got decent piloting and this thing's not bad at melee. So then... And I guess Zap goes in his traditional trebuchet. I kind of feel like Zap should be in a better, like, you know, the Hunchback, the Vindicator. Like, these are definitely some things that can deliver a pounding. I mean, the other thing that I could do is I could put him in the Cyclops. Yeah. You know what? Let's get silly. Let's see how this works. I definitely think I prefer the trebuchets. So that fires about 30 missiles around. That's really good for slapping down the stability on people, but I'm going to get myself familiar with some unfamiliar mechs. The big thing, though, is I need to remember that the dragon is not as strong. Like, so the dragon is strong when it's the first heavy you're running into in like all mediums. But when you're actually piloting the dragon and the AI is playing to win, it is not really that... It's not really that scary. Anyways, we don't have any intelligence about possible enemy forces on the ground, Commander, so keep your eyes open. We're on Tundra, so we can afford to be wasteful with heat. We've got solid intel that an enemy lance is in the region. Sweep the area, find them, clear them out.
I got icicles growing in all the wrong places.
That's geothermal, so it's not quite what I wanted to do. Oh yeah, this can be a death trap. So this is a great one. This is a great level for heat dissipation. This is not a great level for taking out the bad guys.
Moving to position.
But
Moving out.
so the problem here is, like, if you want to go fast, you've got one path over here, but your enemy has the high ground, and they've got like they've got you in a choke point when they're in the high ground to make your life miserable. So yeah, I'm gonna charge the dragon
On
through.
my way.
Okay, enemy contact, 45 tons. Behemoth.
We got company.
I think for this one we'll do a sprint. The Victor, can I get into the woods? No, I can't, so we'll move them. But I can get them here.
Onward.
This is basically the last round where I'm going to be able to get some good evasion chevrons, so make it count. We are going to be moving after everyone, so... So yeah, the dragon's going to be taking a lot of fire at a time they really shouldn't be. So I think in this particular case, I'm going to reserve everyone down to position. Well, actually no, I'm not. I'm going to let the Cyclops make its move. Okay, so I am going to reserve Showboat just because I'm not going to have any better evasion than this round here.
Holding action, Commander.
Okay. So let's start by making
We're
the...
saving you. We're rolling.
I think we're going to focus on the Phoenix Hawk if I can. I can.
See how you like this.
Waiting for orders. Got it.
The other half of this equation is to get the dragon in close enough to do some physical attacks. But for now I said we are going to focus on the Phoenix Hawk, and I intend to do just that.
Ready for orders.
Alright, so I do want to get the Highlander in into the fight as early as possible, so we'll jump
I copy.
into the drink. Might as well share the love.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
Okay, so seeing as this thing is ready to get knocked over,
What can I do for you?
I'm going to get Glitch to target. Oh. Maybe I won't. Apparently Glitch doesn't get to target anyone this round. That's a shame. Yeah, I have no shots on anyone. That is a crying shame. Okay, well, we'll take advantage of a sprint then.
Pedal to the metal. Come on, neck warriors. It's go time.
Holy smokes, that is a brave... Well, no. That thing's probably going to be on its last leg soon anyway.
Nice try.
I've got eyes on hostile reinforcements. They're heading your way.
Interesting. Alright, I need to clean these guys up soon. So obviously I'm going for the physical attack anyway, so that's not a huge loss here.
Did you see
I'm
that?
in love.
Did you see it?
We definitely need to stop the missiles though. That armor's not going to hold up on that missile barrage for much longer.
Whoa! Easy on the armor, buddy.
Damn it.
I took some shrapnel.
Okay.
Waiting for orders.
Zap doesn't like that they're bullying.
I'm your spaniel. Affirmative.
Waiting on you, Commander. Don't need to tell me twice. This should be good.
Okay, I was kind of hoping for Behemoth to go after the Vulcan, but Thunderbolt's the higher priority. It does, however, mean that the Dragon's going to get hit with a bunch of missile strikes again, though. Let's go straight for the center.
That's a kill. Let's get fired up! There's work to do!
I hope she doesn't get knocked over.
This is getting serious.
Ah, that's enough.
That got through my armor, Commander.
God damn it, that's 2 damage on her already. And then there's going to be a targeted shot
gonna need a
from the
medic.
Vulcan. Oh wow. Went for melee.
Okay, that was bad.
Jesus Christ. This really may be the death trap mech.
I'm losing weapon systems.
I don't think I can. Okay, so I know what's been happening. I've let the dragon get out front too much. But the fact of the matter is like we're just like I'm at the point now where I'm just losing too many pilots to
Got it, Commander.
to the dragon. I just don't think I can keep it in the lineup anymore. Ooh, that's gross.
That's a miss.
Yes, Commander.
Let's get Glitch
Good
to do
to
the
go.
physical attack first.
Moving to position. Ugh! That's a kill. Receiving you. Acknowledged. Critical hit, Commander.
I guess the other one would be the dragon would make sense, but the only person who can be in it has to have like bulwark. Or alternatively, I just keep the dragon in the back. But the thing is that like the AC it's carrying isn't really enough to make it like worth it. There's just simply better heavies that I can bring in. All right.
I'm receiving you.
I could have better to hit on my LRMs. Oh, maybe I can't.
Move order received.
If nothing else, it'll knock down some evasion.
Firing all weapons.
Standing by.
So close. It's actually going to be one of these cases where I ignore the Griffin. This is just in favor of Glitch getting a shot off. So we've got Catapult, Griffin, Enforcer. I really don't like that Catapult.
Locking in all weapon systems. Think I hit something good. Commander?
And then Glitch gets the targeted shot.
Affirmative. That's a critical hit.
Of course, we don't have anything that moves on turn 2, so this thing I think is still going to be moving before our assault. But they've at least lost some vision for a bit. That's brave. The real question is, do I want to use the Highlander to melee it, or do I want him to focus on whatever my new favorite target is? Okay, so I'm going to give Behemoth a Vigilance just to get my stability down. And I do have a melee attack on the Enforcer, so I gotta take it. Oh! You have one job, Behemoth. Alright. That actually puts me in a bit of a tight spot. I think I was in a sweet spot. Yeah, I had like 1,000,000 on all of my... 1,000,000% on all of my hits. So. And yet we couldn't seal the deal.
Scored a critical hit.
Waiting for orders.
I think I'm not going to have any systems left to salvage.
Got it.
It's going to be a creative move, I think, but let's see what we can get done. I really want to put some hurt on that catapult, so... Well, it does say short-range missiles, so...
Affirmative.
Rear attack. Nope. Going after Glitch. Oh, structure exposed. Okay, I need to take this thing seriously now.
Can't take many more hits like that. Good to go. Targeting for physical attack.
Kind of want to see what's exposed just to see how much, how worried I should be.
I'm taking heavy hits, Commander. Commander?
Both arms. Okay, that's going to be a little ugly. Again, I'm going to spread the love on this one. I think the priority is going to be on the catapult for this.
Roger that.
That wasn't quite enough to knock him over. I'm a little sad about that. Oh, but I have the Cyclops still.
Waiting for orders. Location confirmed.
I'm going to add the Griffin, but I think I'm just going to divide my attention among the catapult and the Enforcer. So one batch of LRMs for the catapult, the other one... Okay, so... Really? Okay.
Multiple targets confirmed.
Again, I'm operating on the assumption that Highlanders are immortal.
Took a hard hit there.
Okay, so first thing I want to do, I'm going to use Zap to try and finish off the catapult.
Moving to position.
I may not be able to do it, but let's give it a shot. We need 90. I'm going to give him everything.
Firing full complement on enemy. Tango down.
Okay.
Waiting for orders.
Yeah, Behemoth's actually doing all right as far as the armor is going to go. So
Position confirmed.
mono and mono with the Griffin, although I should have tried to get her stability a little bit better than what it was. That is an absolute disgrace that a piloting that high is missing that much.
Good to go.
Glitch, again, I need to sort of take this a little more seriously, so I think I'm just going to get her to do a targeted strike on the Enforcer. If her awesome autocannon gets knocked down, that's going to be a really sad day. I'm still going to try and do the hero shot on the head, though.
All weapons are go.
So they're probably going to target Glitch.
Yikes! That hit hard.
Oh my god.
Okay, that was really bad.
I think it's the first time the Highlanders had its armor punctured. Ouch. If I just lost the Gauss rifle, that's a sad, sad day.
Commander.
I did. I don't think I have a replacement for that either. I would have just lost a really cool weapon to a really stupid move. Also, I wanted to melee attack, but okay. I'm not playing this game anymore, I've learned. Okay, Glitch can finish that off.
Engaging.
Waiting for orders.
Griffin.
Affirmative. Critical hit, Commander. Mech warriors, show them what you've got.
If I lose my AC-20 as well, I'm gonna be super sad about this one.
Structural damage. Orders.
God, this is a tough call, actually. I want to deny them sight. I think in this case I'm actually going to do the melee attack on the Griffin.
Locked on for physical attack. Reporting critical hit.
So problem is all of these have low initiative, so I don't think I'm going to be able to take advantage of these knockdowns, but it's going to mess up their order a little bit.
They're getting the angle on me.
Enemy is flanking.
There's got to be like an archer or something back there. All right.
Good to go.
First things first. Let's deal with the Griffin.
Commencing Alpha Strike. Enemy down.
So now if we can knock down the Enforcer.
Ready for orders. Rolling.
Whatever's on the other end there doesn't have any sight on us.
Target eliminated.
You know what? Just going to entrench. Once they get in range, we can have our way with them.
I'm ready. Got a lock.
Receiving you. Engaging. Waiting for orders.
I wish there was an indicator as to whether or not they could see me. Presumably they can't, but... Well, that was a bad presumption.
You can see daylight through my armor.
Waiting for orders.
Sorry guys, I know I'm not as chatty as I was before. I think I've gotten a little too reliant on having an active chat, but I'm also very engrossed in the game now. So one of the reasons I sometimes target legs, other than the fact that they're weak spots, being able to knock down a unit like that means that I get...
Commander?
So like this is the same as two... Like, so I get 2 called shots, so this is the same as like 70 resolve worth of actions. Now, of course, it's on a Highlander that's lost its really awesome weapon, so that is a thing, but...
Waiting for orders.
I think in this case I'm just going to try and close as much distance as I can. LRM leaves something to be desired for the hit, but...
Target
So hopefully we get one action before it stands up. Nope. Alright, I might lose a weapon here, depending on what it does.
Commander?
Alright, well, it doesn't really matter what order we do things in, because... Well, it kind of does, actually. Let's get Glitch to do her magic.
Firing everything I've got.
Alright, so I mean, there'd be some awesome scrap to pick up if I didn't give it up for the shot. So this was not a very good mission. I lost too much, and the scrap gains are not really going to be good. Well done, Commander. This should slow down the Oregon Directorate offensive.
Mission successful.
So let's see what the Butcher's Bill is, and more importantly, let's see if the... I kind of want to see if I can get my Gauss rifle back. So 20% increase, so at least we made almost $1 million on that. So Showboat sadly was killed in action. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, the Dragon does not seem to be worth it. We lose too many good mech warriors. So we'll add one catapult part, unless my Gauss rifle's lying in the rubble somewhere. LRM 10 +++. Cool. Again, that's pathetic salvage. I mean, we got the money that I wanted, which is good, but... I am going to see if I can find... I'm going to see if I can find a place to buy a Gauss rifle. Showboat has died. Mech warriors are gaining experience and need your guidance, Beefeater. If you head to the barracks, you can direct their training. So she lasted 15 days. That's a shame. Okay. Again, it's very unlikely that we're going to find Gauss cannons, seeing as that's sort of its lost tech, but... Kimmy, travel restricted. Really? The Capellans don't want to? Alright. Are true, but that's... Huh. I would have thought that that would have been closed off to it because it's in the Directorate. Alright, we'll give it a shot. It's 18 days of travel. Let's at least get whatever repairs we can in the mech bay. I'm not putting a triple plus in the Dragon. We've lost too much with it to risk good gear like that. I will put a medium plus plus in it though. Yeah, so it's the fast movement that's killing the pilot. Well, okay, I'm killing the pilots, but the fast movement's what's killing it because I keep putting it way too far ahead and it's not able to survive what I'm putting it up against.
I'll let you know when that's done.
Yeah. This is a bit of a risk that I'm taking in terms of what am I doing? A bit of a risk that I'm taking because I could just be moving on the star map for absolutely nothing.
Bio command.
But it does give me a chance to put people in the med bay, or keep people getting healed. No techs, no mechs. After receiving a troubling message from Yang, you rush down to Mech Bay. Yang pushes between a mob of mech warriors and mech techs, entangled in a shoving match at a Jenner's feet. A message welded into the Jenner's torso reads, "No techs, no mechs. You depend on us." A scrawny mech tech with a black eye shoves a wrench at the mech jockeys to emphasize every word. "We deserve respect, and that means a raise." "I'll give you what you deserve." Zap rushes forward, but Behemoth and Yang pull him back from the tech. "We're the ones risking our necks." Yang raises his voice before anybody else can comment. "Shut your traps, all of you. How do you want to handle this, boss?" I'm disciplining the mech techs. It might mean that my mechs are in the bay for longer, but... Alright. You know, you're not wrong, you oppose the mech techs, taking a deep breath. "We do depend on you." You bend down and picked up scorched remnant of the Jenner's center torso. It crumbles between your fingers. "That's alarming, given what I've seen here today. It's one thing to voice your dissent, but your antics have endangered our pilots and cost the company who knows how much. If you learn to air your grievances like professionals, you could stand to earn a lot more." The techs grumble, though they return to their station. Zap gloats. Some of the mech techs don't bother hiding their disdain for you and Zap, glaring openly. Later that night, Yang brings you a bottle of whiskey to your quarters. The mech techs are dragging their feet, but they'll snap out of it. Give them a month to gripe, and they'll get tired of yapping and get back to work. He fills your glasses. The two of you share a drink in silence. So, -3 penalty. We kind of knew this was going to be happening, but I'm going to be traveling for a while anyway, so I don't mind the slower progress. And looks like Zap has got high spirit, so has high morale, will be able to use inspiration abilities more often in battle.
Wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
So there's a side of me that wants to repair... I mean, let's at least start what repairs we can. Oh, I don't have double heat sinks either. There's like nothing I can replace on this thing then. There's a side of me that might actually want to... Like, I don't normally like reloading for stuff like this, but if it's going to be that long for me to replace the Highlander on a... Yeah, I really should live with my stupid decisions. I'm not sure how I feel about that, though. Like, what am I really proving if I stick around with it and don't have my heavies? We'll see. I'm willing to pay through the nose to fix my mistake, but I think if that takes out the... If it takes out the Highlander for an extended period of time, I'm not sure if I want to live with that. So I've got Gauss ammo. But no Gauss gun. Yeah, you know what? I feel like a scumbag doing it, but... I think I'm going to rewind back to the save. It's a little lame. Like, again, I really don't like playing games this way. There's even theoretically, like, I'm just sort of thinking to myself that there's probably ways that I can work around it and just kind of come up with a different loadout for the Highlander. But I don't know, like, goofing around with it because I can, you know, I'm just not entirely... I think the biggest thing here is that I know I'm going to be griping about not having that for a really long time. So in this case, I'm just as happy to do the contract again. I think we actually wind up doing... Yeah, I think we wind up doing forward observers again anyway. And in this case here... basically my reasoning is going to be now. Here's the big question: do I want to renegotiate the contract, knowing what? Yes, I am that kind of scumbag who will do exactly that sort of thing. I'm gonna do one stupid move. I'll do another. I am, however, going to use this as an opportunity to get better with my dragon, though. So it's going to be the same. So there's two things that I'm going to do with this. So the rule I'm imposing on myself is going to be, it is not if I lose my Gauss rifle, I automatically reload. That is not a new sort of self-imposed rule. If I lose it through a little bit more of a legitimate run, I'll do it. I'll be completely honest with you. I really just wanted to see what the Highlander could do, like running in and just punching the crap out of everyone. And like the funny thing about it is the thing that lost me that Gauss rifle was the physical attack from the Enforcer. So I've had my fun. If I lose Showboat to a rain of missiles, if I lose the Gauss rifle, you know, from committing to a decision, you know, I'm gonna have to roll with it. But you know, casually losing really good weaponry to a bit of goofiness is probably not conducive to a fun playthrough. Plus, the other thing too, I'll admit, like we haven't had a really you know, wow moment with the Highlander, but I know I have definitely had a lot more like jaw-dropping moments with the Highlander. So being able to field this thing regularly, I just think is going to result in more entertaining streams. But
Time to get paid.
again, there's some lessons to pull away from that last one. Chief among them, the dragon, like the dragon is a decent mech, but it's not immortal. So I can't really afford to let it run out ahead of all of the other mechs. Like it's faster, but that doesn't mean that.
Waiting for orders.
Oops, that doesn't mean.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Doesn't mean I can get away with just letting it kind of run ahead of the pack. So,
Onward.
gonna keep everybody sort of clustered together until the time comes. The really tough one here is going to be trying to get the dragon in a good position when we move up this road. But at the very least,
What's up, boss?
I will follow the pattern of moving everybody up first and then. Okay, so we've got enemy contact.
You betcha.
Yeah, I think we're actually gonna go waiting.
Moving out.
They don't actually have eyes on me yet, so I should be taking advantage of my ability to do a sensor lock, and we should be doing the exact same thing that they were doing to us.
Picked up a blip.
Cicada. All right, now this is going to be a little bit harder.
I hear ya.
Because in both of these scenarios, they wind up looking at me, and Showboat winds up exposed again. So I'm trying to think of the set of moves that results in her... Yeah, this will at least give me some evasion.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, so Zap, I'd love to put Zap in the water, but I think it's more important for him to close some distance.
Acknowledge.
So of course the danger here is that the Cyclops has the exact same thing that happened to the dragon last time. Happened to him, but in this case, and you know what? I'm gonna do...
Splitting fire.
So I'm doing this because I want to try and knock down the Shadowhawk, and then I want to try and take out the Cicada if I can.
Oh, I like that shot.
Waiting for orders. Firing.
Ouch. It's kind of counting on the Gauss rifle hitting.
Good to go.
Okay, I don't really want to waste inspiration or morale on shooting a Cicada, so I will give him the Alpha Strike, but I'm not gonna.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Yeah, I'm not gonna commit any precision to it.
Did you see that? Did you see? We can do this. Let's go.
So again, the problem here is that any missile boats that they have are going to be able to target us. Fortunately, they're targeting the assaults. So.
Heads up, Commander. You've got hostile contacts inbound.
Okay, this is where it's going to get interesting. So the priority here is going to be to try and get rid of their scouts. The really important lesson here, though, is notice how much damage the Highlander's taking now compared to the Dragon. So my problem with the Dragon has clearly been the fact that I'm running it in too quickly. Ah, that is a shame. So they're going to have two sets of eyes on us, which means that they're going to be able to give us some misery with the lasers.
What can I do for you?
It is very tempting for me to reserve the Dragon in this case. So if I sprint, what does that get me? It gets me close. But you know what? Close is enough, because if I can do a physical attack on that Cicada, it still makes all the difference.
I took some shrapnel.
What is this game? So yeah, this is the flaw with that plan. Now they've got the plan with the Dragon was to try and get her into physical
Standing by.
into a physical attack on the.
I'm walking here.
On the Cicada, but we've got a Thunderbolt and a Shadowhawk to cause us problems now. All right. So one big reason I'm doing this multi-target. So I want to prioritize B. I do want the breaching shot. So this is to remove sort of the evasion chevron, and then the rest of this is just going to be love for the Thunderbolt.
Multiple targets confirmed.
Okay, so
Standing by.
there's a question. Which do I want?
Roger that.
Alright, so I think Behemoth is going to prioritize the Thunderbolt, and I'm going to get Glitch to clean up the Shadowhawk.
Let's see how you like this. Inflicted some heavy damage. I hear ya.
It's not enough. That's encouraging.
Uh-huh.
So I want to do at least one hit on that Thunderbolt so I can knock it over. So we'll maybe give it the SRM. Yeah, everything else is focused on the Shadowhawk. I was really hoping to be able to take out the Shadowhawk with a targeted strike from Glitch, but being able to knock down the Thunderbolt was too good of an opportunity. So we're gonna suffer under the missiles, but it's not as desperate as last time.
You can see daylight through my armor.
But yeah, the fact of the matter is, like, the dragon really does not have the armor you would expect it to. I just really don't see how you can make it that effective in the lineup. This could also be a lack of imagination on my part, but
Systems holding.
Stop. You're just embarrassing yourself.
Commander? Ugh! That's a critical hit.
I'll admit I was hoping for a bit more than that.
They've got a
Jesus
Shadowhawk on me.
Christ, this is gonna hurt. Oh, but they're going for the Cyclops? Okay, they've left that Thunderbolt open, so
Will be done.
okay, if I just stand still. It's got 104. Okay, I'm gonna feel really bad about doing this, but I'm gonna waste the opportunity. No, hang on. There's absolutely no rule saying that Cyclops has to be the one doing
Good to go.
the shot.
Solid connection on that one.
So, I mean, there are worse fates than Cyclops being the main target, so...
On my way.
I think I am going to target the center of that Shadowhawk, though.
All weapons are go. Gotcha.
Orders?
Alright, so the question is, do I want to try and punch the cicada? Do I want to try and shoot it in the back? Actually, that sounds like a great idea.
Rolling. Engaging. Multiple targets.
You don't deserve to live, my friend.
Tango down.
Alright, so we're going to suffer some pretty brutal SRMs, or LRM attacks.
Ha! Send me a real opponent.
Enemies flanking. Reporting heavy fire.
Heavy fire from the cicada.
Waiting for orders.
I can't turn my back, unfortunately, so this may not actually be enough to seal the deal. Okay, so they still have multiple people looking at our mechs. So I'm going to ignore the cicada. My assaults are going to start focusing on the guys up the hill, because that Victor's not going to have its armor up for much longer. Looks like the Victor's actually taken the role that the Dragon did last round, so which is fine. It's fine that assaults are in that position, but
I'm receiving you.
okay, so that Phoenix Hawk doesn't have much evasion.
Roger that.
Unfortunately, the Cyclops is running a bit hot, but here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a multi-target. I'm going to give it one set of LRM love, and yeah, my best bet's just to go crazy on the Phoenix Hawk.
Got it, Commander.
Okay, so now the question is,
Good to go.
what kind of surgery do we want to do?
Got it.
Still trying to keep my distance if I can.
Affirmative.
It's a beautiful thing that Glitch is basically able to take out a lightly damaged medium.
Receiving you.
Okay, now this is a tough one. Highlander's pretty fresh right now, and I do want to get them in the fight, so...
Up high.
Okay, so... Question is, do I want to target the Griffin? Griffin I definitely have the better shots with, so yeah, let's do a precision strike. Can try the hero shot, but let's just go for the
Firing full complement on
middle. Okay, I just need a gust of wind to knock that thing over. Presumably it's going to go for another rear shot on the Cyclops, which is a good move, because that Cyclops' rear armor's got to be pretty ropey by now.
Internal structure damage.
Commander?
Okay, so I need her to finish this thing off.
Affirmative.
In fact, in this case, I'm going to just abandon the whole illusion that I'm going to be able to do some kind of physical strike to take it out, and I'm just going to unload on its rear. Ooh, I did not think that was going to be a side strike. That's a liability. Are you kidding me? I'm actually going to have to use an assault mech to take this thing out. That's very frustrating. Maybe I should have gone for the physical attack. Alright, that's not the end of the world, but...
Showing minor damage.
Reporting. Minimal damage.
Orders?
I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, and I still can't. Ah, this sucks. Okay, this can work. This is the big thing. I need to make sure I can at least get one batch of LRMs on that, on this Griffin. Okay, so clearly we can't Alpha Strike it, but... You know what, we'll do double the, so if I cool off the mediums... So the problem here is that the cicada might actually survive this.
Multi-attack is go.
Unbelievable.
Good to go.
Am I really gonna dedicate glitch on?
Coordinates received. Ah! That would be a miss. Yes, Commander.
Wasting 2 assault mechs to deal with a single cicada is like, that thing has already done its job. Having to dedicate so many resources to try and take this thing out is it's served its purpose well. Okay, well the good news is the dragon might be able to beat the crap out of this thing now, so it's no longer a threat. It's no longer a threat to the Cyclops. I'm going to reserve in this case because I don't need Showboat to make an immediate move on the cicada here. And I do actually like the idea of her keeping her evasion chevrons and then being able to... So she's going to be out in the open. So keeping her with her evasion is going to mean that she'll get whatever evasion comes out of missile strikes that are coming in. And then she'll get whatever evasion comes when she does the physical attack on the cicada. So the ability to knock over the Griffin meant absolutely nothing. Well, I guess a little pilot damage, but that was a wasted opportunity because we proceeded to spend all the time on the useless stuff. I really like that Cyclops. If I can get a physical attack in, that's going to be pretty good for the Cyclops.
Not much armor left in that location.
Okay, so there's some...
This isn't looking too good.
There's some real damage that's happening to that thing now.
Standing by.
Okay, so Zap unfortunately is not able to do a ton to the... Well...
Position confirmed.
So this is a risky move for Cyclops, but the fact that he's in the water is going to make him more effective. So, we're going to multi-target. So the aim on the quick draw is just to do as much with the LRMs as we can. Actually, we're also going to throw the SRMs. And then the medium lasers are partly to knock down the chevrons on the Griffin. If we get lucky with a shot to the center, so be it. But this is really about knocking down the quick draw.
Multiple enemies locked in.
Not quite enough.
Waiting for orders.
All right, so we'll see what Showboat can do.
On my way.
And it was ultimately 2 leg hits that did the cicada in.
Enemy down.
Again,
Orders.
the thing was taken out, but that thing did way more than it should have. The amount of effort that I spent trying to take that thing out was absolutely obscene.
Putting my weight into it.
Why does she have 10 piloting?
Commander?
All right. So the good news is a stiff breeze will blow this thing over, so I just need to hit him with a ballistic. The only drawback is I don't think I have... Oh no, I do have SRMs. Okay, that's good, because I want to use the AC-20. Now, ideally the AC-20 would be a targeted strike, but in this case we're just going to spread the love. So SRMs for our quick draw friend, AC-20 for our Thunderbolt, and a couple of medium lasers for the Griffin, just because I don't like it.
Roger that.
Well, whatever it hit was good. You know, the one move I should have done was actually given the dragons vigilance. Man, they really hate that Cyclops. I think I'm going to move, when I get to turn 1, I'm actually going to move the Cyclops just so I can get the evasion chevrons.
Good to go.
Anyways, it's time for the dragon to have its revenge, so I'm going to take the targeted strike on the quick draw.
Affirmative.
Also conveniently gets Showboat into cover. So here, I mean, the dragon isn't exactly MVP this round, but it's definitely, I'm definitely finding better uses for it, having played this way. I guess it's kind of become like the Centurion for me,
Commander.
in the sense that like I kept losing good weapons on the Centurion to seemingly no benefit. Now the Centurion's actually doing some reasonably good work in my company.
Armor's getting stripped off.
So I think the Thunderbolts are a real worry here, but at some point I do need to deal with the quick draw. I think I'm going to have to pick what my Cyclops goes after depending on whether or not the quick draw stands up first. Okay, well, that answers that. There's no way for me to get evasion where I am now.
Move order received.
But I'll still go to the shore. Well, you know what? This is actually probably not that great of a move. Simply because, how much do I have? 85. I probably have a little more protection from the... maybe not. I think there's a little protection depending on where you are relative to the environment. How much do you have there? 58? Yeah, we'll fire the full amount. It's a little overkill, but not as much as you'd think.
Reporting enemy battle mech down.
The big reason for this, though, is I've freed up Behemoth finally.
Commander.
So we can go after the Griffin. Oh, yes. I've been waiting to do this
Here we
the
go.
whole time.
Critical hit, Commander.
Unsteady, really?
Waiting for orders.
All right. It's going to be the same story as last time. We're going to knock him down with a stiff breeze. Again, the preference would be to use the AC-20 a little bit more surgically, but... Now, Sir M4's got a decent enough chance to hit. But we'll give all the love to the Griffin.
Right, Commander.
The real hope, of course, was that we would have got some. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a kill. Good to go.
Okay, so that's an 85. Okay, it's all 85 here.
On my way.
So obviously I'd like it to be... Oh, I was wrong. Sorry, I thought for some reason that the center was exposed in the Thunderbolt already.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Thunderbolt is something that I might actually want to add to the arsenal, so it would be nice to try and do stuff like either take out the head or the legs or whatever, but at this point here I just want to end the encounter. Once I know what to expect, I actually do reasonably well. It's also a very different loadout from last time. It'd be interesting to see how we would have gone against the the same number of like catapults from the last one.
Giving him everything I've got.
This is not the kind of strike you do if you want scrap at the end.
Target eliminated.
Alright, well done, Commander. That should slow down the Oregon Directorate offensive.
Mission successful.
Alright, so I don't exactly feel good about redoing that mission, but I can definitely say I learned something. Like, I have a much better idea about specifically why I was getting clobbered in the Dragon. So Glitch basically took all the kills for herself. We have a little repair to do. That's right, Showboat took a head hit, so... we got some repairs. And... so I can complete a Thunderbolt. Yeah, this is the funny thing. The goods aren't as good as last time either. But here's what we'll do. We'll take the nice LRM. I can finish off a Griffin, but the question is, do I want to? So we'll take the good stuff. We'll, fingers crossed for the Griffin scrap, but I'm not going to be sad if I don't get it. We got a new Griffin. We have even more Thunderbolt, apparently. And we finished a Cicada. No heavy jump jets, though. Now, technically I'd finish in about 7 minutes. I think I'm going to try one more mission if I can. If anything, just so we can get some decent cash. It just means I'll go a little bit later tonight, but I think we can manage. Especially because I've been a little more quiet tonight. If anybody has anything that they'd like to talk about or anyone wants to say hi, feel free. Alright, so Thunderbolt SE models lose a little of their firepower in exchange for mounting jump jets. The greater mobility is intended to allow for more precision attacking maneuvers, though it all depends on the battlefield terrain. Griffin 1N. Griffin 1Ns use their jump jets to stay at range and pelt their opponents from relative safety. 1Ns can run hot if they spend all their time bounding around the battlefield taking pot shots, though I'm pretty sure we already have one of these. And the Cicada CDA-2A. In all honesty, cicadas, as a rule, are very fragile, making my inability to kill one all the more embarrassing. The 2A model was designed to be as fast as any light mech, but the massive engine leaves little room for much else. Still, if you use it cautiously, it can be a successful scout and diversion, which is, of course, exactly why that Cicada was so effective last time. So... now the question here is, do I want to replace anything with the Thunderbolt? Arguably the Dragon, but I need to repair it first. Highlander and Cyclops both need repairs, and they are assault mechs. Maybe the Shadowhawk, but I do actually want to keep... so, like, Blackjack 1 is definitely staying. Vindicator, Shadowhawk at the moment are still staying. Phoenix is one that I pretty commonly field. Trebuchet is my only missile boat. Jenner, I need to have at least one light in the lineup. Highlander, Dragon, and Cyclops are... like, they're being repaired, so I can't get rid of them. Arguably, I would consider replacing the Dragon with the Thunderbolt. Hunchback I want to keep for the autocannon. Centurion I've actually been able to start working in the lineup. Maybe I would replace it, but again, I'm going from a medium to a heavy. And the Victor is an assault. So Thunderbolt most likely to replace the Dragon, but we'll send it to storage for now. Definitely putting the Griffin in storage. And definitely the Cicada goes into storage. This is the funny thing about... See, it says it's a light mech. Oh, it's designed to be as fast as any light mech. Right, I get it now. The initiative is really important for late mechs, though. Okay, so the good news is that Showboat will be back before payday, so we should be able to cash, get some cash. You think we're on D? We are still going to do missions on this planet here, so we're let me just double check that. Yeah, we've got 2 backyard barbecues.
That work order you submitted is complete.
Pirates ambush the Argo. Blaring klaxons interrupt an otherwise quiet morning routine as several fast-moving ships appear. Pacing the Argo, Darius broadcasts the hail to the bridge. You're flying through our space, strangers. It's awfully dangerous out here. Just awful, especially for a raggedy-looking ship like the Argo, isn't it? Tell you what, we'll provide you with safe passage. For a price, of course. While you consider your options, Sumaira pipes up. Commander, if you can buy me some time, I could do a rapid fire-up of the Leopard. That'll teach him not to mess with us. So yes, stall until the Leopard's ready. I'm scared to death someone's gonna get injured. The frustrated pirate tries to walk you through the money transfer one more time. No, the last account number is a 0, not the letter O. It's never the letter O. Just then the Leopard breaks free of its docking collar on the side of the Argo and fires a barrage of LRMs at the pirate ships. They quickly recover, launching salvos of torpedoes back at the Argo. The impact feels tremendous, but Dr. Murad waves it off. Those decks were damaged anyhow, Commander. Before long, the pirates lose their resolve and fall back, at which point Yang checks in. The Argo may not be in any worse shape, but if we felt the impacts down here in the mech bay, and there's been some damage. Company suffers 1 tech point penalty for 14 days, but we're not repairing anything, so that's a pretty minor loss. Okay, so Beefeater's back in 13 days, which is good news. It basically, I suspect, assuming that there's nothing too bad that happens to us on these missions, I will. Let me just take a look. I'm pretty sure we're one travel contract away. So the War Council. Oh, actually, War Council's 20 days, so we don't even need to do Mech Factory. Mind you, it's tempting because. Manufacturing plant activated by Taurian forces. They're broadcasting what we believe pre-war blueprints to an unknown recipient somewhere in the system. Contagion. See this? Well, it's at Weldery too, so we could actually do the Contagion mission. But then arguably we could do War Council and then Contagion, so probably War Council is the better one to start with. Either way, let's start with Backyard Barbecue. So pretty decent salvage on this one. I may not actually go for the cash. Anyways, we maintain very accurate registry of all military convoys on this planet. Recently, an analyst spotted something odd. A convoy that wasn't accounted for anywhere in our records. It's been regularly traveling along one of our standard logistical routes and using our logistical comms, which is how it evaded detection for so long. Our signals intercepts tell us they're Taurian drivers, so we have to assume that they're smuggling right in our own backyard. We don't want to spook them with our own military comm chatter. We need an independent force to intercept and destroy them. Clever smugglers hiding in plain sight. Now that their cover's blown, they'll probably call in for military backup. All right. I kind of want the cash, but given the scrap, I think what I'll do is we'll we'll keep it at the regular level, and then we'll go heavy cash for the second one. Now, the tough one here, I haven't done an ambush convoy with the new loadout. So there's sort of an argument for the Dragon, but there's also an argument for the Phoenix Hawk. I definitely do not need to be bringing stuff as heavy as this, but at this point I kind of want to see what I can get away with. I'm going to experiment with this one. Oh, what am I doing? I should have upgraded my mech warriors. That's fine. But yeah, so what I'm thinking here, I can, I'm going to use this as a dress rehearsal for the next round. And again, remember the logic behind this, which is that if something bad happens and I get a pilot knocked out or something like that, I can still go and take on the other mission depending on what I have available. The big worry here, of course, is that because I've got really heavy mechs, they'll be able to run away, but I believe this ambush mission usually involves like a head-on attack. So we'll see if that turns out. According to the survey maps, you should be able to see the convoy's route from this location. Once you have eyes on them, destroy their vehicles. Any other units are at your discretion, but there shouldn't be much opposition. Famous last words, Commander. When you're ready for pickup, I'll meet you at this landing zone.
I feel a tremor. Like there's creatures living beneath the surface.
Okay, well, this is begging for the...
Our target is within sensor range.
Okay.
I'm going.
This is begging to have Glitch jump up and just fire down on. Let's hope she has the range.
I've got something.
Trebuchet, huh?
Ha! Send me a real opponent. What can I do for you? I read you, Commander. Moving out.
So the real problem with this one is we still don't... Oh, no, here's the target. Okay, 60 tons. So my hope here is that the dragon is actually going to wind up running in and stepping on these. But for starters, let's just make the trebuchet sad. My absolute last move is going to be Glitch to get her up on the hill. I have a feeling that she's not going to be able to do anything with it, but... Running into bad habits with my dragon again. Fortunately, she's got some backup, so...
What's up, boss? I hear ya.
Okay, so should be able to move both.
Waiting for orders.
Let's get the Cyclops up here.
On my way.
So in a pinch, Zap is also going to be able to sensor lock some of these targets, but let's hope it doesn't get to that.
Roger that. This just in. Critical hit.
So I'm going to save this for later. Now that it's unsteady, Glitch can finish it off.
Ready for orders.
Jump gets me a little more distance. So in this case, I'll feel a lot better about taking the fresh Kintaro.
Taking the shot. Solid connection on that one. Good to go.
Okay, so
Time to fly.
I'm not sure if I want to use any resolve or I can't remember. Is it resolve or yeah, it is resolve. Let's see what the trebuchet is looking like. Could probably take it out with a shot to the gut. Let's do it, because I'll get resolve for taking it
All
out.
weapons are go! And stay down! Come on, mech warriors! It's go time!
So I might actually even sprint with the dragon, depending on what the... ooh, urban assault vehicle. I need to be a little more careful. Mind you, sprinting with the dragon's still not a bad idea, because I'm just going to be able to go up and step on everything. Honestly, though, 80-ton vehicles, that's not a good idea. The dragon...
I'm bleeding,
Of
Commander.
course, it's always a head hit. I need to remember to put that stronger cockpit in the dragon, I think. If it's going to be drawing fire like that, at the very least I can keep the mech warriors safer. The thing is that with this many assaults, I don't want the dragon to be
That was bad.
drawing that kind of fire. Alright, you know what? I much prefer this
On my
physical
way.
attack idea.
Ugh! That's a critical
So the
hit.
drawback here is this has changed the equation with what the dragon's role is going to be in this, right? I have to start taking out these vehicles. And how you doing, Miles 4K?
Took a heavy hit there. Good to go.
Okay, so can Glitch reach these guys? No. Okay, that's a problem.
Waiting on you, Commander. Got it.
Especially because of the heat. So 91, how much armor does it have? Yep, we'll...
Commencing.
Primary target is taking...
Again, that's overkill, but I really want that thing done.
I feel bad about shooting the little guys.
No, don't feel bad about shooting that one at all. We'll see what the 80-ton is. Okay.
Standing by. Acknowledged.
So the nice news here is that this is kind of like my poor man's trebuchet. So if I want, it's like 80 damage if I were to hit it all in the same spot. That's loser talk.
Welcome to my album.
Have confidence that
I
my
think things are going.
best gunner is going to be able to
Yes, Commander.
take these things out. It's a little early for the Highlander burial. I am kind of debating taking on the... Oh, right, I can't target multiple things. Alright. I'm going to take out the Centurion then. The Highlander... So, like, the Highlander and the Dragon are the ones that I actually normally would want taking out the vehicles with physical attacks, but the fact is there's a couple of fresh mechs still here, so in this case, being able to use the Gauss Cannon is a big deal.
That hit something good. Come on, mech warriors! It's go time! I'm taking a pounding, Commander!
So if Showboat can get a melee... Oh, damn it. If Showboat can get a melee strike on the Centurion, I'm taking it. What is it about this mech that makes everybody hate it? Oh, that's a really good autocannon that I just lost.
Losing weapons, Commander. Good to go.
Okay, cool.
Got it. Ugh!
Okay, I didn't really want to take out the arm, but this will knock him over.
Critical hit.
So the bulldog moving there is a little bit of a worry. I might actually just have to stand and take it too, because my heat is a concern.
Minor damage, Commander. Nothing to see here. Waiting for orders.
That is going to be some pretty wild
No sweat.
heat generation. Yeah, I can't go for everything. So if I take out one medium laser, oh no, okay. Oh wait, vigilance doesn't help with heat. I screwed up.
Time to die.
Still enough, okay.
Bye-bye.
And then I get to do physical attacks for the next couple of rounds.
Waiting for orders.
Alright. I really should be protecting the dragon, but being able to get some melee strikes in is nice. Okay, well, having people knocked down isn't bad.
Ready for orders.
And then the nice thing here is that Zap's going to be able to divide his attention.
Moving to position.
Well, I say that, but he's also running hot in the desert, so... you have that backwards.
Acknowledge.
Let's get
So I think everybody's doing melee. You're kidding me.
Armor's holding. Waiting for orders.
The Centurion is the threat, so... I just hope the dragon survives. That was welcome.
I hear ya.
Okay. Oddly enough, I think the bulldog is the bigger threat.
Ugh! Knocked out a vehicle.
And it attacks the dragon! That was supposed to be a joke.
Armor breach. Internal damage. Hey, we're getting outflanked.
Okay.
Orders.
So Behemoth kind of has... Well, it's not entirely true. Oh yes, yes it isn't. It is true. So...
Targeting for physical attack. Reporting critical hit.
I'm your spaniel.
I was kind of hoping the Zap would be able to do a melee attack here. Sadly, they cannot. Okay, well, we'll divide our attention and kind of hope for the best, I guess. Wow, no lasers. Okay.
Multi-attack is go.
Yeah, not enough to finish off either of them. That's going to be 3 attacks on the dragon.
Reporting structural damage. They're coming around the side. Commander?
Okay, so first thing I got to do is vigilance. Actually, we're doing not too... In honesty, this could be worse as far as where I'm damaged.
Ugh! Enemy down.
So I may not be able to catch up with it, but I do have a big gun with its name on it, so...
Yikes! That hit hard.
I live to serve.
Alright, so Zap apparently is not going to get any breaks on his heat.
May I interest? Melting armor.
So just a little meat damage on my
Map,
new
Chief.
recruit.
One less target.
Behemoth will go just for a standard physical attack again. 2 full lances? Call that a lot more opposition than we were led to believe. Yes, this is clearly a trap, and our employers let us stumble right into it. Commander, clear out that convoy while I have a conversation with a restoration contact. And then...
Good to go.
hopefully glitch. Oh, nope, she can step on it.
It's time to bug out. Get to the LZ for extraction.
So, I mean, given the fact that I was over-equipped for that mission, I shouldn't exactly be too proud of those results, but... Commander, the area has been cleared. Darius has given me the green light to land immediately. Hold position.
Mission successful.
But that's life. Alright. So let's just take a quick look. I'll see what my repairs are looking like. I don't think I'm going to be able to do another mission before payday, seeing as my my new hire just got hurt. But we're at 535 for payment, so that's not too... That'll at least cover payroll. Okay, so Showboat's out for 20 days. I'm out another AC 5++. Glitch did the Lord's work. Everybody else, I mean, one mech for each person is fine. But yeah, obviously, you know, like, I'm wondering if there is a way for me to just make the dragon even more tanky. I'm a little scared to put Behemoth inside of a dragon, because as awesome as her, you know, her ability to take damage is, the dragon is a death trap. Okay, so I've got an AC 10++, an LRM 10++. I mean, maybe I just use the dragon for its LRMs. I guess I can get a Kentucky. Yeah, I might as well finish off the mech. PPC++ is nice, plus 10 damage. AC 10 for extra stability damage. You know what? I kind of like that PPC, so we'll run with that. We got extra trebuchet parts, another Centurion part, and an SRM 2++, but I don't have anything with SRM 2. Oh, that's not true. My Jenner might have it. So let's just take a look and see if there's anything I can do to make the dragon a little bit less of a death trap for its pilot. One of the big ones would be getting that kind of safety cockpit. But I think I've already used it up in the other mechs.
That mech you wanted is back online.
The Kentaro 18 is a beast of a machine. It's fast for its size, mounts heavy armor, and can literally shred most other mechs with almost ridiculous amounts of close-range weaponry. But it runs hotter than hell saunas. More Mech Warrior experience. So Kintaro goes in. That counts as a heavy, right? No, it's still a medium. So again, another potential replacement for the dragon. All right. Oddly enough, I do actually have another Imperator AC 5++, and like an idiot, I'm going, wow, I really put an LRM 10. Okay. I'm sure I knew what I was doing at the time. Yeah, and I don't have... Well, let's see if there's a fancy cockpit I can buy. Survey says no. All right. So we clear about 500,000 for most of our mechs. We've got double spiders, double panthers, double locusts. Those aren't worth as much, obviously, because they're light. Double griffins, double javelins. Again, those aren't worth too much, though. And a couple of blackjacks. So, I mean, we're not as wealthy in terms of, like, capital as we think we are. But, like, if it gets really desperate, you know, there's a bunch of spare, like, I don't need 77 medium lasers. And the ability to sell off a large number of those can help me in a pinch, so.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
All right. Well, six pack is out for 5 days, but our financial report is in 5 days. So the original plan was going to be we would do Backyard Barbecue Part 2 in the jungle biome with the... I mean, I guess I could bring a lance of 3 mechs. That strikes me as a bad choice, though. Yeah, so I'll sit on that. What we are going to do, though, next stream, because I'm done for tonight. So we're going to head out to the next story mission. In terms of who will be available, I think all of my top tier mech warriors will be available, and I should actually have a spare one. I now have a company actually that has got more than I really know what to deal with. So my A team is Beefeater, Behemoth, Glitch, and Show. Oh yeah, okay. Actually, it's probably Zap that's the bigger star, and Showboat's kind of taken the role of like Medusa. In fact, Showboat's actually kind of like Showboat's a little bit like Decker too, when you take a look at her stats. So, and then I've kind of got 6-pack and Tyrant. I've got 2 spares now, which I'm not crazy about, but I'm also not paying a lot for them. So the big thing I need to be careful about is just making sure that I don't upgrade stats until I absolutely need to. Behemoth is sitting on an absolutely disgusting amount of XP, so we'll probably just spread it evenly amongst gunnery and tactics.
Good to go.
Again, Glitch is frightening, so we'll max out the guts, then we'll max out piloting. What about the rest? So Beefeater has been in medbay for most of the time. Showboat's definitely ready to upgrade some stuff, so we were going to give her the shoot and move option.
I'm listening.
6-pack, I actually need to start picking some like some combos for. I'll maybe review that before next stream.
Standing by.
And similar story with Tyrant, actually. So I was working on someone who would be a little bit more focused on tactics, and as it happens, that kind of got preempted with the arrival of Showboat. What might be interesting is if I do something along the lines of Master Tactician and Bulwark, because I don't think I have that combo anymore. So essentially what this would be is that this is somebody who can move like move fast, move far, and be able to take some hits. So this would be a really good person to drive the dragon. In that case, yeah, maybe we'll make Tyrant the dragon pilot. So we'll go like high tactics, high guts. Not quite sure. Yeah, so Showboat's going to have ace pilot, so we've sorted that out. And 6 packs of blank slate right now, so but they don't cost me that much. So anyways, that's the plan. Thank you everybody for watching. I know this was a little bit of a more quiet stream, but I think that was just numbers actually weren't that different from previous streams. It just kind of seems that it was a little less chat. I believe that Johnny Big Time is actually streaming, and if he is, I really want to host him. So if you can just bear with me a quick second. Oh yes, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. There was never a really natural time for me to bring it up in the chat, but I would like to just put a quick link inside here. So some of you may already own this game. If you don't, the Humble Bundle, that is a Humble affiliate link that I put in the chat. Oh, speaking of affiliate stuff, I really should be saying this ahead of time. I was given a key for this game from Paradox, or for the Heavy Metal DLC. I did buy Battletech, Flashpoint, and Urban Warfare with my own money, but I was given a key for promotional purposes. And I do apologize. I try to disclose that ahead of time. This, of course, I did. I chatted a little bit less with folks, a little less interactivity. So please forgive me. Presumably none of you made a buying decision off of that. I hope you didn't, at least, if that matters to you. But that link that I put inside there, that is an affiliate link for me for Humble, and this is for the Europa Universalis bundle. So this is a sort of a pay what you want sort of thing. If you pay $1, you get Europa Universalis, The Art of War, Res Publica, Wealth of Nations, the American Dream pre-order pack, and Digital Extreme Upgrade. So basically, what the mechanic content that you're looking at is Europa Universalis, Art of War, Res Publica, and Wealth of Nations. Amusingly enough, I believe these were the first 3 DLC that I bought for Europa Universalis as well. If you pay more than the average, which is currently $10.16, you get the Rights of Man, Mare Nostrum, the Cossacks, the Common Sense, and El Dorado DLC. And then if you pay $17, you get the Golden Century, Dharma, Rule Britannia, sort of immersion pack, Cradle of Civilization, Third Rome, and Mandate of Heaven. So I'll be honest with you, if you want a big version of Europa Universalis 4 with a lot of the DLC, I don't think it's all of it. It's close though. Let me just take a quick look at exactly. Let me see exactly what all the DLC is. This is not a bad way to get into this, because everybody knows what it looks like when you look at a Paradox game. It's like $381.23 worth of DLC at full price, and the base game is $43.99. So DLC available: Golden Century, Rule Britannia, Third Rome, Dharma, Cradle Civilization, Mandate of Heaven, Rights of Man, Mare Nostrum, Cossacks, Common Sense, El Dorado, Art of War, Res Publica, Wealth of Nations, Conquest of Paradise. Wow. That is all the expansions for you. Okay, so if you want to play, okay, by the way, that's not the $381. There's also the content packs, which are not, I don't believe, are included inside of that. So this is all like base game stuff. But yeah, if you want to play Europa Universalis with like all of the gameplay stuff, that can be yours for $17. Or if you just want to try out Europa Universalis and slowly fold stuff in, you can do that too. Keep in mind, where was it? You do have the options of choose where your money goes. I believe if you use that affiliate link, you can direct a certain amount towards me. But again, you can set it between Paradox. I think I've also set it up for Doctors Without Borders as my default charity. If I haven't, it'll be whatever you have on it. But with that in mind, you notice I don't push a lot of the Humble Bundle don't push a lot of the bundles. This is one of the ones where I actually think it is like, if you were ever interested in playing Europa Universalis 4, I think this is a very good deal for a game that I like quite a bit. And I was debating about doing a stream with Europa Universalis, but I kind of thought, like, I really don't do, unless it's on Steam explicitly, I really don't do like buy this game kind of streams. I may still do a Europa Universalis stream, but with that in mind, that is actually a deal that I think is a reasonably good one. And clearly, if you if you want to put a little bit of the money my way, using that affiliate link should give you an option to sort of divide it accordingly. It's no longer apparent. I've noticed that Humble started doing a little sneaky thing where it used to be that they would explicitly show choose where your money goes. Now you actually have to go just below the pay screen and push a little arrow to show where it goes. I mention this because they default a Humble tip, and I don't mind giving Humble a tip. I just rather wish that it was very explicit, where the money was going like they used to be. And I have a feeling that they're trying to make sure that a little bit more of the default amount goes towards it. So anyways, however you decide to split the money, if you do want to get Europa Universalis, I think it's a very good deal. As far as the bundle's concerned, even if you get it at the top tier, if you don't want to play Europa, $0 is still a fine price to play for a game that you don't want. Now, I still have not seen who's streaming. Yes, Johnny is streaming, and I think he's still playing Luigi's Mansion 3. So for those of you who are still here, Johnny is my favorite streamer on Twitch. I'm pretty sure he's eventually going to play Battletech at some point. But today's probably not that day. But I bet you will get him to deliver his The Dragon catchphrase. So with that in mind, thank you everybody for watching. I'll be back Friday. I'm not sure what I'm playing yet. Do keep in mind that the Friday after next week I'm going to be off. But other than that, streams are as usual. Have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.